All right, let's just jump right in. Think about that feeling, walking into an emergency room. It's a lot, right? High stakes, high anxiety. But have you ever stopped and wondered, how do you actually know if an ER is any good? I mean, how do you measure that? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're looking at the official report card for emergency care right here in Dubai.
So, what's the secret sauce? What really makes an emergency room great, especially when you're in the middle of a crisis? You might be surprised, because the answer is probably not what you think.
I mean, yeah, speed is obviously a big deal. Nobody wants to be left waiting for sure. But just getting seen fast? That's really only one tiny piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
And you know what else isn't the whole story? All that fancy, high-tech gear. It looks impressive, but having the latest and greatest machine, well, that doesn't automatically mean you're getting the best care.
So what is it then? The real answer is, it's a system. A carefully crafted playbook for saving lives. One that every single hospital has to follow to make sure every patient gets the absolute best care every single time. And today, we're going to flip through the pages of that very playbook.
You know, people often call the ER controlled chaos. And honestly, that's pretty accurate. It's the front door to the hospital for so many of us. And to manage that chaos, to make sure everyone is safe, you just can't wing it. You absolutely need a set of rules. A way to measure what's working and what's not.
And that's exactly where the Dubai Health Authority, or the DHA, steps in. They've basically created a citywide scorecard. It's a list of key metrics, you might hear them call it KPIs, that every single ER in the city is graded on. And this isn't just about numbers. It's all part of a much bigger mission to build a healthcare system that's all about you, the patient, and built on trust, safety, and quality.
Okay, so how does this whole scorecard thing actually work? Well, it's a non-stop loop of getting better. First, the hospitals track a ton of data on every single patient's visit. Then, you've got a dedicated quality expert at each hospital who double-checks everything to make sure it's accurate. Twice a year, all that data gets sent over to the DHA. And finally, the DHA looks at the big picture, monitoring the whole system to see where things can be improved for everyone.
All right, let's make this real. Let's follow a patient's journey to see how this all plays out. The first few things we're going to look at are all about the clock, because, let's be honest, in an ER, every single second counts. These are the most critical checkpoints.
So, the second you walk through those doors, an invisible clock starts ticking. The very first stop, it's called triage. The easiest way to think about it is like the ER's sorting hat. A nurse or doctor quickly checks you out to figure out just how urgent your situation is. It's all about answering one question: who needs help right now?
And the DHA has a super clear goal here. They want to see 8 out of every 10 patients get that initial assessment, that triage, done in 15 minutes or less. And this isn't just about rushing people through. It's a really important measure of how efficient the ER is and how seriously they take getting you the right care right away. So, that's the first magic number to remember: 15 minutes. If a hospital is hitting that target, it means their system is working like a well-oiled machine, spotting the sickest patients and getting them to the front of the line fast. It's the first huge checkpoint in your ER journey. Okay, let's shift gears to something really serious. Picture this. Someone comes in with a major heart attack. The next metric is called door-to-balloon time. Sounds kind of weird, right? But it's literally a measure of how fast a medical team can get in there and open up a blocked artery with a tiny balloon. Seriously, think of it like a Formula One pit crew, but for your heart.
And here, precision is everything. The goal? For 8 out of 10 patients who have a specific, really dangerous type of heart attack called a STEMI, to get that life-saving balloon procedure done within 90 minutes of walking in the door. This isn't just about speed. It's a raw measure of how effective that hospital is when someone's life is literally on the line.
That's what doctors call the golden window for heart attack care. 90 minutes, from the moment you arrive to the moment they open that artery. Hitting that target can be the difference between life and death. It's about saving heart muscle and giving someone the best possible chance at a full recovery.
All right, so let's say you've been seen, you're stable, and the doctor says, okay, we need to admit you. The next thing they measure is how long you're waiting around in the ER after that decision has been made. This is a huge deal for keeping the ER from getting totally jammed up.
So, the target is for 8 out of 10 patients to be moved up to a proper hospital bed within 180 minutes. That's 3 hours. Think about it. This is so important for keeping the ER free for the next person who comes in with an emergency. It's all about making sure the whole system flows smoothly.
So there's our final number on the clock, 180 minutes, 3 hours. And remember, this isn't just about making sure you're comfortable, it's about the hospital's capacity. Getting patients moved efficiently means the ER is always ready for that next critical emergency.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about time, about speed, but that's really only half the story. The playbook also has to measure something that you could argue is even more important. Did the care actually work? Was it effective?
Now you gotta pay close attention here, because this is where things get flipped on their head. For all those time goals we just talked about, a higher score is better, right? You want more people hitting the target. But for this last one, the goal is the exact opposite. Here, a lower number is what you're aiming for.
So what is it? It's the revisit rate. Basically, it asks a very simple but very powerful question. Did we get it right the first time? It tracks the percentage of people who leave the ER only to come back within 72 hours for the very same problem.
You see, a low revisit rate is a fantastic sign of high-quality care. It tells you the diagnosis was probably spot on, the treatment worked, and the patient got clear instructions on what to do when they got home. It's a real deal measure of quality.
So let's recap. We've got triage time, door to balloon, time to bed, and the revisit rate. But what does it all mean when you put it together? Like, why should you personally care that this scorecard even exists?
Well, at the end of the day, it means the entire system is built around your journey as a patient. It means that no matter which hospital you walk into in Dubai, you know they're being held to the same exact high standard. It creates accountability, it pushes everyone to keep getting better, and it builds trust. It's a huge part of what makes this city a real leader in how healthcare is managed.
It's just a really powerful way to take this vague idea of good quality care and turn it into something real, something you can actually measure with data. Which leaves us with a really interesting question to chew on. Now that we have this amazing playbook for measuring care, what do you think is the next big step, the next frontier for making sure patients are even safer?